worms in.
So let's check out your worm bucket. So you cultivate your own worms.
I do, and bugs.
And bugs.
Well, the bugs are in here. But I have other bins at home. This is just one I brought with me I gotta get some worms for somebody. So there's usually, I gotta find it.
Oh yeah. And so are they using this for all purpose, including like fishing,
no. These are composting worms. So they will.
Composting worms. Okay.
You just put all your waste in there, and they break it down, and they make this stuff, which is like, when you dry it out, I mean, it's like gold fertilizer. It's unreal. So.
And you sell this?
Yeah, I sell the worms. I sell this when it's all dry. But yeah, this is just a little one that I have. I have like a bunch of them at home that are like half. They're these big 50-gallon drums cut in half. So I grow them, and so I had to bring some today because some lady wanted some worms.
Very cool. Look at them. It's so rich.
This is like awesome fertilizer. Of course, there's always going to be other bugs. It's almost impossible to not have other bugs, but
But the other bugs contribute to the ecosystem as well, correct?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, that's no problem.
That's a lot of times, like if you ever go out in your garden or something and there are a lot of bugs in the dirt, that's a good sign. That means you have a lot of live action in there and a lot of live organisms which they like to feed off of.
So you keep this in this rough tote, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one. The other ones at home I have in something else. But this is like my one I can bring around if I need to bring it for somebody. You can throw your paper and everything in there. They eat it all.
Paper? You can put paper in here too?
Cardboard, paper.
Really?
Like this, I just drop this in there. It's fine. I can just leave it. They'll eat it.
What is that?
It's just my napkin.
Napkin?
Yeah.
No way.
So
you're really not wasting anything.
No, I mean they won't eat plastic and they won't eat papaya seed, but
they won't eat plastic or papaya seed.
Papaya seed's an actual dewormer.
Yeah, it'll sterilize them, which equals they die off.
Oh.
So
they're smart enough to know not to eat this.
Well,
Nature is incredible.
Yeah.
And they don't eat plastic either because
It's not enough.
it don't taste good.
Yeah. Not that natural. It doesn't come from the earth. But they'll eat pretty much everything, you know? I mean, I hear a lot of people say don't put meat or anything like that, which actually they would eat your meat, but it just attracts other animals.
So you limit what you put in the compost, thinking about those types of considerations.
Yeah, I just do like if I'm making at home, I have a little bin that's inside my house with a screw on top, and I just every time we do salads or anytime I'm cooking, I bring it out. All my leftover stuff I throw in there, and then I add that bokashi stuff we were talking about to it because it helps break down the food faster, which that's what your worms really want. They don't want the fresh food. They want the broken down stuff with a bunch of mold and organisms eating it up. That's what they want.
So you're creating a better environment not just because you are using healthier products, but you're creating a better environment because you're not adding to the waste.
No, yeah, we're trying to cut down waste. I mean, we already have like an overload of waste here on the island. We have nowhere to put it. You know, there's also like a big thing floating in the middle of the sea that's like bigger than the Hawaiian Islands. That's all waste. This should cut it down, you know, I'd say easily 30 to 50%, depending on who it is. Maybe even more, you know. If all you do is eat veggies and you're already trying to help out, you probably have, you know, maybe you only have paper and vegetables. And all that can go into here. And like I said, if you really wanted, you could give them your meat and stuff, but we just don't recommend it because it's going to attract other animals. But the meat can go into the bokashi bucket easily. You can throw your dairy, your meat, your bones, whatever you want in there. Your papaya seed that you can't put in here.
How do you start one of these buckets? What's kind of the essentials to starting one of these buckets here? You get the bucket, right?
Or just get something to put it in. It doesn't have to be this. Like, I mean, I got my worms from somebody like 3 years ago. It started with like just a little handful or a couple handfuls. I just went and got this from, you know, one of the stores out here. Drilled some holes in it, read up on it, and got it going. You throw a little bit of dirt in there, a bunch of paper, wet paper, and then start throwing your food in there and throw your worms in there, and they'll just start going through it.
So the air holes are also essential.
You need the air holes. If you're, You don't necessarily have to have a top on it, but it's always good to have something covering it. But if you are going to have a top, you better have more air holes.
What are the air holes important for?
For the worms breathing, so you don't suffocate them in here. And if you don't have enough air holes or it's not a good environment, you'll know your worms will try and escape. They will leave through any hole they can find, or you'll lift this open and there'll be worms all up here trying to get out of here.
Really?
So they'll kind of tell you when they're in a bad environment, as long as you check on them. If you don't check on them for a little while, they might all be gone. Like, I still, to this day, I find them in my yard and stuff, in areas right around my bins, because sometimes this thing was the only thing I had for a while, and this thing was full. And since I've cut it down into other bins, they're all doing fine now. But for a while it was really crowded, so some would leave anyway just because lack of food. I would put food, I would fill that thing up with food, and in like 3 days it would be gone because there were so many in there. So it's definitely slowed down since I thinned them out, but they're coming back.
So you're cultivating the food to cultivate your food.
Yeah.
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 And I'd say the worm castings is probably one of the best all-around fertilizers for everything you can think of. It's phenomenal. So.
And at the same time, you're cultivating your community.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That's incredible. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Yeah.